Hi there, I'm Zood Java. Today I'd like to talk about the violence that has been plaguing Northern Ireland for the past 7 days. And these riots are involving groups of young people clashing with police and all around senseless violence. And it has reared its ugly head once again. Loyalists and nationalists have been going at it with the police, attempting to thwart the dangerous activities. On Wednesday night, a bus was attacked by rioters who firebombed or petrol bombed, depending on your geographical language location. They did this to a bus that they recklessly threw rocks, bricks, and Molotov cocktails at, which ignited the bus. Footage of this can be seen by clicking on the link in the description box below. Luckily, nobody was injured in this attack, with the bus driver narrowly escaping the ordeal. As a result of this, the bus drivers' union, I believe, got together and protested by stating that they would not be driving into this section of town at night, I believe after 6 p.m. 55 police officers were injured as these groups threw rocks, bricks, aimed fireworks at them. Violence erupted again the following night. The police responded by giving a warning to disperse or water cannons would be used. Of course, they didn't, and the water cannons had to be implemented. As well, the police had to charge at the rioters with their riot shields out as the rioters continued throwing rocks and bricks at the police, as well as setting off and aiming fireworks at them. Most of this violence has been in what are known as loyalist areas, such as Carrickfergus and Newton Abbey. As could be predicted, the rioters tended to be groups of young men of roughly, 20 to 30 people. But unfortunately, some very young people are getting involved in this behavior. There are claims that this violence is controlled by gangs and organized criminals who are manipulating these young people into doing their bidding. They seem to be rioting because of a few things. One is Brexit. Some are angry that the agreements since Brexit have created barriers between them and the rest of Britain. One known as the Northern Ireland Protocol is rather suspect. While the government said that there would be no barriers to trade between Britain and Northern Ireland when the UK left the EU, since Brexit, however, there has been checks on food and goods moving between Europe and Northern Ireland, which has caused disruptions. This new regulatory border between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK has created a border in the Irish Sea, which the Unionists claim that undermines Northern Ireland's place in the Union. People feel betrayed by this border, which Naomi Long, who is a Northern Ireland's Justice Minister, has accused Boris Johnson of dishonesty over the border, saying that it's contributed to loyalist anger. The EU is suing Britain over what it says is a breach of the Brexit agreement and international law. Arlene Foster, the DUP leader, is seeking a court challenge to this protocol. The government, however, insists that it has acted lawfully. People are also angry in Belfast after hearing that there would be no action taken against 24 Sinn Féin politicians. Deputy First Minister Michelle O'Neill, who attended a huge Republican funeral during the pandemic for loyalists, the funeral of former IRA leader Bobby Storey last June, seemed to prove a long-held perception that many in their community felt that the state institutions gave preferential treatment to Republicans. Confirmation of this, they pointed out, was the police agreeing with Sinn Féin funeral organizers prior to an event that saw around 2,000 people take to the streets of West Belfast when there was very tight limits on public gatherings in place. Because of the interaction with the police, senior prosecutors knew that any charges against them was doomed to fail right from the beginning. As a result of this, the people wanted the chief constable of the PSNI, or Police Services of Northern Ireland, to resign over claims he had lost the confidence of the community. After facing claims of his having two-tiered policing, one only has to look at claims made over 2 months ago that there was discriminatory policing made by the nationalists, or the ones apparently not the victims at this present time. Yet these areas are rife with paramilitary gangs who are simply looking for any excuse to lash out through a series of riots. They are only concerned with the police efforts targeting their criminal enterprises and are using political reactions to fight back at the enforcement of the law against them. The Biden administration has joined in with White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, stating to reporters that they are concerned by the violence in Northern Ireland, and we join the British Irish and Northern Irish leaders in their calls for calm. My take on this? Well, as my heritage is from Belfast, I've heard firsthand about the problems and senseless violence over there since I was a child back in the 1960s. When my Irish relatives would come to Canada for a visit, it has always been a powder keg for violent stupidity, as they put it. I say stupidity also because these idiots would cause all sorts of dangerous explosions, firebombings, without any concern whatsoever about who got injured. These morons would set off bombs in areas where there would be large groups of people gathered and have no concern over who was injured or killed. I should say murdered, actually, as that can be the only intention to placing a bomb in a crowded area. But even the people that they claim to represent were quite often the victims of their senseless, violent stupidity. Because of an attack on my uncle by 4 ever so brave IRA men who viciously jumped him and beat and kicked him, making him lose the sight in one of his eyes for the despicable crime that my uncle committed of being a milkman in his 60s who was delivering milk. What do you know, eh? Being very young, this had a profound effect on me. It's why I have no problem when people want to protest, as long as there is zero violence. But once you begin to get violent with people or destroying things, I have absolutely no sympathy for anything that happens to you. You have a choice: protest and be civil about it, or face the consequences, whatever they may be. I respect a truly peaceful protest, but I hold contempt for anyone causing violence or destruction. These people aren't trying to help change things. They are just evil and want to go out and cause destruction. As for the Biden administration, you got a lot of nerve sticking your nose into saying another country should be peaceful when your party openly encouraged violence during the past year in your own country, resulting in more than 30 murders, at least $1 million or a few $billion, that I should say, in damages, countless people injured, and prosecutors letting these disgusting people break the law in this fashion, with your new vice president also raising money to get people who were arrested for violent crimes out of jail. I guess Jen Psaki will have to circle back to tell you how to run a country properly, Northern Ireland. Well, now for the part you've all been waiting for. My bad joke. One butt cheek said to the other butt cheek, "Together, we can stop this crap."
Ha ha ha! Har har! Har har har!
No? Okay. Well, Anyhow, don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps me out, and the onslaught of cancellation on people with my type of opinions are in the radar of them. So hit the bell for notifications of more of my words of wisdom. Share my content on all your social media. And until later, have a Java on Zoot.